Hey everybody, it's Jara with this August question and answer from Patreon. You guys send in your questions and now it's time to spit out some answers. Meredith writes, what is the best class you ever took? There's a bunch. I mean, a lot of classes have shaped and changed me, from classes where I learned fundamental precepts to ones that changed my entire view on what I wanted to even be as a person. But let's pick one in general. My junior year in college, I was enrolled in just a standard acting class, and I had already done, countless years of acting, and I really received a lot of academic training about Stanislavski method and objective and super objective, and I wasn't quite internalizing or being able to actually administer on a organic level how to do or make choices based on this sort of thing. It all felt very, very dry, very academic to me. But this teacher, I don't even remember her last name. Her name was Julia, I think. Julia gave us a book that we used the entire semester. It's a great book, Directing Actors. Directing Actors, because the book is a book essentially for directors, but it teaches you how to communicate with actors. And by doing so, the book is a masterclass on how to make more clear and more fundamental the tools actors need to make choices when they do scenes or monologues. And it all became clear. It became clear that, when you simply say, okay, if you are in a scene, you can't play an emotion, obviously. You can't go, I am sad. But if you're with somebody else, you can punish them. You can unravel them. You can seduce them. And those can all have undercurrents of whatever. And what makes each actor or each person different is that your attempts at that specific objective are going to uncover different things in another person. And that's what makes it fun when you play them. And that unlocked it all for me when I first really discovered that that's the tool. Those are the playground elements that you can use to make choices on stage and film. 3 items on your bucket list. I'm not one for travel. I'm really not one for crazy pie-in-the-sky things. Mine are really more all career-minded. I would really love to work with my favoriteest performer of all time, the comedian and actor Paul F. Tompkins. I love him dearly, as everyone knows. I would love a chance to either write something and play opposite him with it in a play on Broadway, or do a film with him, or an animated series as an equal, because I wouldn't want to just be a fan with him. My goal would be to do a show with him and eventually become friends with him and develop something, because I think he is, in addition to being a phenomenal performer and a decent human being, is just a dear, dear person, which is a rare thing among performers, because we are all broken in our own exaggerated, wonderful ways. The second thing I like to do is I would bucket list or would love to have a solo show that I wrote and perform go on Broadway. King of the Hobos, Ghost on a Stick, something else. The chance to do solo work, because I think solo work is so fundamentally powerful. And to have it on Broadway is a great indicator that A, we acknowledge new properties on Broadway, and we're not just willing to just throw out the 100th version of Dames at Sea, and B, that we encourage new audiences to see solo theater, and from there, inspire them to make new things and discuss what makes solo theater an effective performance model. It's the original performance model, and learn from there what creation can come forth from it. The third thing I like to do before I die, I would love to be signed by a studio and record an original album of my songs. Sort of like one of my other heroes, David Ackles. I think it'd be a real treat before when I go, to have something lasting up there that people can hear, songs like The Mandrake or or tonight's enough, or other stuff. They're just available for, countless times to come. Anna asks, what's the first thing you think of when you wake up in the morning? First thing I think of when I wake up in the morning, I have a little index card that I have taped to the side of my desk by my laptop. And it's written, a diet of expectation is appropriate and healthy. The first thing I think of when I wake up in the morning is usually, oh my god, I'm in a lot of panic. Because I tend to wake up panicky. I just deal with anxiety and depression, and that's what my life is like. So I usually tend to wake up feeling like I'm haunted most of the time. What calms me down is to remember that phrase. A diet of expectation is appropriate and healthy. And it just centers me. It keeps me back into the real. It reminds me that if you don't expect anything, and you don't deny anything, some wonderful, glorious moments can happen. My mom asks, will you post a video of you reading one of your short stories? I will, absolutely. There are some fun ones. I've written ones about demigods being strippers, and one semi-based on my Mexican side of my family. I'll post one of those in September for sure, absolutely. Now, questions for you. And for you, I want you to respond in the comments of Patreon. Video, make a song, write, whatever. I want you guys to respond openly and freely and goofily in the comments. 3 questions. Answer as many as you want. Number 1, what is a made-up song, a made-up game that you play for yourself when you are driving or you are on public transportation like the bus or the subway? Something you do to pass the time while you're in that zone as you're getting from one point to another. One example for me is sometimes I stare at the other passengers, not directly, not like creeper stare, but, just peripheral vision, and I imagine what they would look like as another gender, or what they would look like if they were older, or if they were if they were younger. What is your favorite kind of kiss, and why? Lastly, just who the hell do you think you are? Tell me, in 6 words exactly. Think about it. My basic one, of course, is a fool writing odes and nonsense. I love you guys. Talk soon.